Life has a strange way of repeating patterns. You meet someone new, different face, different name, a completely different beginning. You tell yourself this time will be different. This person, they seem different. But then, months later, you find yourself in a familiar place. The same emotions start to surface, the same sense of disappointment, the same confusion, and eventually the same question echoes in your mind. Why does this keep happening to me? Many people chalk it up to bad luck, as if they're just cosmically cursed in their relationships. But psychology suggests it's not about luck at all. It's about patterns. Human beings are deeply, profoundly shaped by what feels familiar, and that familiarity has a powerful, often invisible effect on attraction. What we often label as intense chemistry is frequently just recognition. Not the recognition of a soulmate you've just met, but the recognition of an emotional experience you've had before. The way they speak to you, the way they pull away when things get close, the specific kind of tension they create, deep in your mind, a quiet voice whispers, I know this feeling. And because this feeling is known, it feels strangely comfortable, almost like coming home, even when that home is a place of pain. The famous psychologist Carl Jung once wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This single idea explains so much about our relationship patterns. Many of our core emotional blueprints are formed long before we have the language to understand them. Our early experiences with family and caregivers teach us what connection feels like, what attention feels like, and what distance feels like. Without ever realizing it, we begin subconsciously searching for those same emotional signals in our adult relationships. We're not looking for them because they're healthy or good for us, but simply because they are familiar. Our minds often prefer the discomfort we know over a sense of calm that feels foreign and strange. This is why a truly stable, healthy relationship can feel so odd at first. Someone who is consistently calm might seem boring. Someone who is reliable and communicative might feel unexciting. But a person who is unpredictable, emotionally intense, someone who creates a roller coaster of emotional highs and lows, that can feel absolutely magnetic. It's not because they are a better match for you. It's because their behavior matches a pattern your nervous system already knows how to navigate. And when that pattern repeats itself, the chase, the anxiety, the brief moments of relief, it can feel like destiny, like fate, like this is just how relationships are supposed to be. But the truth is far more complex and empowering than that. You see, you are not simply choosing people based on a clear-headed assessment. You are responding to subtle, almost imperceptible signals, emotional cues that fly under the radar of your conscious mind. The specific tone of their voice, the physical or emotional distance they maintain, the way they give and withdraw their attention. When these cues resemble something from your past, your mind moves toward them automatically. This isn't a weakness. It's conditioning. It's a deeply ingrained response that most people never stop to question. They just assume that their feeling of attraction is a reliable guide, that it's pointing them toward what's right. But attraction is not always wisdom. Sometimes attraction is just memory, the memory of emotional patterns we haven't yet taken the time to examine. Before we continue, I want to take a quick pause. If these ideas are making you reflect on your own experiences, I've created a whole collection of conversations just like this in the Relationships and Identity playlist on this channel. Each video explores different patterns in how we think, connect, and understand ourselves. And if calm, reflective content like this resonates with you, consider subscribing to Daily Reset Lab. We're building a community around these very ideas. Now, let's get back to it. Once you start to become aware of these patterns, something truly interesting begins to happen. You start seeing the connections between your past relationships. You look back and notice things you missed before, not just what the other person did, but how you responded. You remember the moments where you ignored clear signals, those times when a little voice in your head said something felt wrong, but you pushed it down and stayed anyway. You see the situations where emotional intensity felt more convincing and more real than quiet stability. And slowly, a powerful new realization starts to dawn. Maybe the pattern was never just about them. Maybe the pattern involved you too. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself. It's a revealing process, not a judgmental one. You start to see how your own reactions, your interpretations of their behavior, and your deep-seated emotional expectations all played a role. When people first become aware of this, they can sometimes feel discouraged, as if the responsibility for their relationship history suddenly became heavier. But I want to reframe that. This awareness is actually the beginning of your freedom. Because once you can see a pattern clearly, it stops operating on autopilot. It loses its invisible power over you. And then you start asking entirely different questions. Instead of the old, defeated question, why does this keep happening to me? You begin to ask, what specific signals am I responding to? What emotions feel familiar, even if they're painful? What behaviors do I unconsciously interpret as attraction or love? These new questions shift your attention inward, from a place of helplessness to a place of curiosity. And that internal shift changes everything. Because real, lasting change in your relationships rarely starts with finding a different type of person. It begins with seeing yourself more clearly, understanding the signals you instinctively follow, the emotions you automatically trust, and the patterns you unknowingly repeat. The very moment you begin to see those patterns, they start to lose their hold on you. Awareness brings choice. You're no longer a passenger being directed by fate. You're in the driver's seat, able to read the map for the first time. If this reflection resonated with you, I really think you'll find the other videos in our relationships and identity playlist helpful. Each one is designed to explore different emotional patterns we all experience in our connections with others. And if you'd like to have more calm, thoughtful reflections like this in your life, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to Daily Reset Lab, because sometimes the most profound changes in our lives don't come from a huge, dramatic event. They begin with a single, quiet moment of awareness. Thanks for being here.